And now, it's time for Aviation News with Angela.
Hello there. I'm Angela. And welcome to my series, Aviation News with Angela. Sorry this episode is a day late, as well as Jeopardy with Terrian Malloy, Mark Dawson, and Eva Callison. I've been to see the 5 o'clock showing of the Super Mario Galaxy movie that my boyfriend, Tyrone, who is a Rottweiler Pitbull, is talking about. They say Fox MacLeod, a person who I am willing to join as a special needs bus aide next school year, is in some of the scenes. Now with that, this series is always sponsored by Oakland San Francisco Bay Airport. With news articles like Spirit possibly on life support, AA plus UA equals something, among others, we need to get Spirit back on their toes, fast. So let's get things started, shall we? First, we go to Spirit on the brink. Time is a flat circle. Sometimes Spirit is filing for bankruptcy. Sometimes it's getting a plan approved to exit bankruptcy. And sometimes it's reported by reliable sources that the airline is on the brink of liquidation. Is it true? Check back next Friday and we'll see. Spirit told CNBC in a statement that it doesn't comment on market rumors and speculation, which, well, what fun is that? There's a whole cottage industry built on market rumors and speculation, and they're really missing out. Pilots and flight attendants make concessions back to the carrier to help it survive. Spirit, popular amongst budget travelers and those heading to Florida, that's a Venn diagram that's almost 100% overlap, is on the back end of spring break, and is looking down the barrel at a challenging spring and summer with gas prices costing more per gallon that Spirit charges for many of its base fares. While it seems like it's a matter of when, and not if, Spirit shuts down, anything is possible. Well, almost anything. It's not like American and United would ever merge, right? Trust me, if Spirit were to shut down, just like Silver Airways last year, Tess, Mia, and Lucy will all be upset, Bodhi's feelings will be hurt, and Ryder from the Paw Patrol will tell Bodhi and Kampa that they'll get more Airbus aircraft, and Spirit and Adventure Bay Airways will merge and hopefully get the message that they'll either keep or rid themselves of the rear-engine aircraft they already have. Find out next week if they shut down or not. Next, Scott Kirby's latest plan for world domination. What if Coke and Pepsi merged? Or Geico and Progressive? What about Marriott and Hilton? Seems unlikely, no. Not in the mind of United CEO Scott Kirby, who floated the idea this week that his carrier could absorb its peskiest rival to create a super airline that combines the unreliability of American and the proud Newark base of United to spawn the most unmanageable blob of an airline since Texas Air acquired Continental in the 80s. Is Kirby serious? Maybe. Probably not. But maybe. What's he really at here? Is it that he really wants JetBlue and is laying the ground for that by pushing this so a JetBlue acquisition doesn't seem so crazy? Brett and friends said on the Air show that is one active theory. Another is that Scott Kirby truly, down to his core, actually believes that there's only room for 2 dominant US carriers, and this is the quickest way to settle that. Trust me, if it were to happen, I would immediately freak the hell out. Now, we have DOT makes decision on Chicago RD de-escalation. The battle between American and United at Chicago RD finally had some sense mouthed into it by, GAS, the federal government. The DOT ruled that about 300 flights per day needed to be cut from the airport's peak summer schedule to give it even a prayer of maintaining any operational reliability. What's operational reliability? Asked American upon hearing the ruling from the government, while United smugly accepted the ruling while secretly wishing the government would force it to reduce flying to Newark again too. Nearly 3,100 flights were planned on peak days this summer, a 15% jump from a year ago. The maximum the government will permit this summer is 2,708, which is still more than last year's 2,680. When hearing that 300 flights needed to be reduced, AA and UA network planning teams got together and emerged early this morning with a new plan. They say that if Delta and Frontier cut about 25 flights per day, Aeromexico, Air Canada, Porter, WestJet, Viva, and Volaris go down to 1 flight a day, all other international carriers just pull out of the airport, and then assuming Spirit goes under, that should get them to the 300 flights cut without either AA or UA having to eliminate anything. Trust me, Chicago's O'Hare Airport is going haywire. What is the deal for options to de-escalate or have their airport operating license revoked? Like SpongeBob SquarePants restaurants the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket, they will never stand a chance. Next up is Lufthansa looks for savings, shuts down CityLine. Whoa Nilly. Lufthansa will be adjusting its operation in reaction to rising oil prices and their mess of a labor situation as summer approaches. It's a bold strategy, because everyone knows you can't cancel flights if they've already been taken off the schedule. It's calling it capacity discipline, which is corporate for, we checked the math and yikes. It also will reduce capacity in a very efficient and very German three-step plan. Removal of Lufthansa's CityLine forever. Retirement of its last 4 A340-600s and the grounding of 2 B747-400s by the end of summer. And additional capacity reduction for the 26 to 27 winter. CityLine was a regional subsidiary of Lufthansa and it was already set to be wound down next year and replaced by the wildly differently named Lufthansa City. But this abrupt change will end all CityLine service as of tomorrow, April 18th. All CityLine employees will be laid off and are expected to be offered jobs at other LH subsidiaries, at a dramatically reduced salary, we're sure. But wait, there's more. LH also will move up the transfer of 9 A350-900s to low-cost operator Discover, while also vowing to find other savings through the reduction of admin costs and increasing revenue streams, including charging a €3 fare to board a bus when arriving at a remote stand in Frankfurt. Passengers electing not to pay the fee will have to find their own way to the terminal from the remote stand. Trust me, all of Lufthansa's A340-600 aircraft will be transferred to Air Eleonoria to live a new life and start new service from Eleonoria to South America. And Tesla Air's subsidiary, Tesla Air Extensions Plus, will get the two 747-400s from Lufthansa they've been asking for, so they can start their charter services once and for all. And finally we have Spirit told to pay up to TSA. The United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit ruled that Spirit could no longer get away with being a cheapskate and holding on to passenger security fees that were owed to the TSA. Talk about kicking a guy when he's down. Spirit is doing everything it can to stay afloat, looking for every penny it can find, and the government sniffed out this scheme and put an end to it. Spirit was taking flights that customers booked, canceled for a credit, and then let the credit expire without using it and keeping the TSA fee on those bookings. The government ruled that the airline can do one of two things with passenger security fees: pay it to the TSA or refund it to the customer. Baking the fee into a credit that doesn't get redeemed doesn't fall within those two options, and Spirit is being required to send $2.84 million in fees to the TSA. Spirit would not make anyone available for comment, but an off-the-record source told us that the TSA is gonna love being a creditor when we go under. Good luck collecting. I have nothing to say about this, so I'll let it be for now. Okay, no more reactions from myself, and let's go to the aviation odds and ends with Carolina Ramirez.
Air Canada unveiled its fancy new cabins. But you won't be flying them to New York JFK this summer. No. American will test electronic boarding gates at DFW this summer. Condor is going to need some ownership help. Delta is suspending 5 routes this summer. Edelweiss won't be flying to either Denver or Seattle this summer as the carrier is a known hater of Super Bowl 48. A big fat no to those cities. JetBlue could be in trouble if you ask its founder and current boss at Breeze, David Neeleman. Jet2 wants you to know that nothing beats a trip on its new all-business class P737-800. Korean unveiled its fancy new lounge product at Seoul Incheon. Level will fly a lesser level of non-stops this summer from Barcelona. Magna Charters shut down its entire operation for at least 2 weeks. Because these moves usually only last a short period and everything is fine after. Don't worry that its website now appears offline completely. Norse Atlantic is pulling out of Los Angeles. It says it's because of high oil prices, but we suspect it's because no one in Hollywood would take them up on their movie script The Many Bjorns. Can they start service to Caden County International Airport instead? Oman Air will return service to Dubai tomorrow. Qantas is reducing its flying both to the US and domestically to combat spiking oil prices. SAS will begin 5 times weekly Mumbai service in June. SCAT Airlines, in addition to its unfortunate name, is now the sole shareholder of Southern Sky Airlines. Sky Team named Kate Lee as VP for Corporate Affairs. She will spin the wheel on her first day with each Sky Team carrier and will move to whatever country's airline it stops on. Spirit is looking to reject 7 more airplanes and give them away to Thailandian Airways. Now back to you, Angela, with all the nonsense you've spoken earlier, thinking if it is going to happen or not.
Thank you, Carolina, and I don't know if Spirit can shut down or not, according to what I've said. If they do, I would go mad. And that's the end of the One Day Late episode. And here's my moment of levity if you've forgotten. Spent nearly an hour trying to figure out how to fasten my seatbelt. Then it finally clicked. Oh, by the way, Avalo will start service to Indianapolis and Cleveland from New Haven and Charlotte Concord soon, so be ready and be set. Anyways, thanks for watching this long overdue episode. This is Angela, signing off.